Hello everyone, and welcome back to PPL VGC Season 1. This is Semifinals, and I'm up against Gunk, so let's just get right into it. Gunk's team is very threatening. Her round 1 pick was Mega Frostlass, which has a strong and fast Blizzard to spam into my team, and Aurora Veil for support. She also has a Kingambit to match mine. It is of course an offensive menace that can threaten my Delphox with Sucker Punch. Primarina is a bulky and powerful wall breaker. Talonflame is a priority Tailwind center thanks to Gale Winds, and a surprisingly good attacker into my team. Medicham is another wall breaker with that psychic fighting typing that, as we've seen in previous matches this season, puts in a lot of work against me. And Mega Dragonite is the big threat to me here. In my opinion, the better Mega into my team with its good matchup into both of my Megas, as well as just a ridiculously good stat block. Those are the 6 major threats that I'm expecting, but she has other options as well. Rotom-Frost can spam Blizzard alongside Frostlass for solid offensive pressure. Paldean Tauros is a decent Kingambit check with a good offensive presence into my team, and Torterra can notably use Wide Guard in an attempt to shut down spread moves like Delphox's Heatwave or Basculegion's Muddy Water. So this was a very tough matchup to prep for, but I have a lot of good-looking offense on my end as well. We're starting the build off with Mega Delphox, which is just running dual stabs with Flamethrower and Psyshock. Flamethrower is chosen over Heatwave for more reliable single target damage, and Psyshock is here to hit Primarina on its frailer physical side. Will-O-Wisp pulls Kingambit while bypassing its Sucker Punch and protects slots in last. And we have speed for Mega Frostlass and Scarf Primarina. This set is especially good if my opponent focuses on a Mega Frostlass Blizzard spam strategy, since we outspeed and KO it with Flamethrower, but it also looks good into most of my opponent's team as just an all-around fast attacker. Next up is Weavile, which is here to threaten the Mega Dragonite that I am very afraid of. Knockoff and Triple Axle threaten everything I'm reasonably expecting my opponent to bring, with the exception of Kingambit, so we have Brick Break to threaten that, as well as break an Aurora Veil that Frostlass might try to set up. Fake Out is great utility as always, giving Weavile's partner some breathing room. We're EV to be 1 point faster than Delphox, which allows Weavile to knock off Resist Berries or Citrus before Delphox goes for its own attack, and we are Focus Sash as well. That's kind of the usual item to help Weavile survive a few extra turns here. For the next slot, I knew I needed something that can threaten the Primarina harder, and my options are kind of limited in that regard. Mega Venusaur is great against it, of course, but looking at the rest of my opponent's team, Brave Bird, Talonflame, Hurricane Mega Dragonite, Medicham, I expect those guys will all show up to try and counter Venusaur, so I can't justify bringing it. Instead, we're debuting Manectric, holding a Twist Scarf. With a limited move pool, the set was kind of locked in from the start. Thunderbolt and Volt Switch for stabs and a pivoting option, Flamethrower for extra damage into Frostlass, Kingambit, Rotom, and Torterra. Electrifier is actually really good coverage in this team. And Thunder Wave, mostly filler here, but we've seen how useful a fast Thunder Wave is during this whole season. We have enough speed to outrun Scarf Rotom, which also outruns every unboosted threat, and I think this Pokemon has a lot of potential in this matchup, threatening Talonflame and Primarina hard while still being a nuisance to the rest of my opponent's team. Next up is Kingambit. This is a jolly Kingambit meant to always outrun my opponent's Kingambit if they are adamant. It does take a lot of power and bulk out of its usual set to do this, but Kingambit is so good that a slightly watered down one is still really solid. Iron Head is our only stab move for the matchup. It's surprisingly good coverage, with Rock Tomb covering Talonflame and Low Kick to actually hit my opponent's Kingambit. With Chople Berry, this really is here mainly to win the Kingambit mirror, since I expect my opponent to have an Adamant Kingambit with the Chople as well. So with both the Chopples there, we should always be two-shotting each other, but mine will be moving first. Next up is Klefki, which isn't doing anything too special this time, just Dazzling Gleam for offense, Priority Thunder Wave, and Sunny Day to cancel my opponent's Snow, as well as boost up Mega Delphox's Flamethrower. We have an Akaberry to tank a Flamethrower from Mega Dragonite, and hit back with Dazzling Gleam, but we're physically defensive otherwise to be able to sit in front of their Kingambit without too much issue. Not too much else to say here. Speed control and weather control are just kind of nice to have in the back. One other note I will mention, if I partner Klefki with Manectric, Thunderwave doesn't work in the traditional sense because of Lightning Rod on my side, but it does give Manectric a special attack boost, so that's always a decent option in case I need that extra power. And then finally in the last slot, we're running Basculegion. This is a very bulky take on the fish. We're not really interested in outspeeding anything, but instead trying to tank hits and strike back against my opponent's fast offense. This is a special set, mostly because I need the base power of Ice Beam to properly threaten Dragonite. From there, Shadow Ball is an amazing stab move into my opponent's team, not much resists it, and Hydro Pump, despite its inconsistency, does feel needed to actually threaten solid damage onto the Kingambit. With our investment, Basket Legion avoids the one-hit KO from Timid Frost as his Shadow Ball and Kingambit's Count-Out Cleave, so for the most part I will be tanking any one hit my opponent can throw at me. We're also running Citrus Berry just for some extra longevity and extra resistance to double targeting. The investment into special attack ends up not being too much, but with adaptability, Basket Legion is still a very hard hitter and a good wall breaker. That is going to do for the team though. It was a tough build, with Talonflame and Dragonite especially limiting what I feel like I can do in the matchup, but I think I put together a winning strategy here. Let's see if that holds up in the battle. Alright, we're in against Gunk, and she has brought a team of Mega Dragonite, Kingambit, Talonflame, Rotom-Frost, a little bit of an interesting choice there, the Medicham, and the Primarina. Okay, so no Mega Frostlass. I did think it looked a little bad in this matchup, so that is not too surprising. Other than that, yeah, basically all the threats. I was looking at top 5 plus Mega Dragonite. Really just Frostlass out for the Rotom-Frost, which is interesting. Maybe Manectric will be more helpful in that case. I'm thinking Weavile has a lot of potential as a lead. Block the Tailwind from coming out from Talonflame. And I'm thinking either alongside Basket Legion or Manectric. I kind of think Manectric. That's a tough call, but I'm going to go for it, I think. Yeah. And then I'm going to need Klefki. Oh, no, am I really going to play with this match without Basket Legion and Kingambit? Because I want Delphox. Let's try that. Applies a lot of offensive pressure, so we'll see if we can do it. Alright. Good luck, have fun to Gunk. Delphox, Klefki, in back. Okay. Let's see how this starts off. We have the Dragonite and the Rotom. Okay. This feels like a nice start for me. I think I'm just happy to go with a Triple Axle. I actually go for a Fake Out into the Rotom, maybe, anticipating that the Dragonite is going to have some kind of defensive option in order to not want to be hit by the Ice move. Manectric, on the other hand, I don't know what I want to do. Maybe I just Volt Switch to Klefki? Question? Maybe Thunderbolt? I think the Dragonite's going to protect, so I'm going to double the Rotom. Ooh. Okay, interesting. They actually went straight for the Mega. I'm surprised. They did protect, though. Okay. Okay, we do a little chunk. Alright, so we got Rotom. That's not a bad start. I could have Volt Switched for sure. That might have been the better play here. I don't know if that Rotom's Stark or not, and if they are Stark, they know that my Manectric is Stark now. I do need to Triple Axle into the Dragonite. I could make a switch to maybe the Delphox. Anticipating a switch into the... I don't know. Yeah, let's try this. So I'm going to switch. I don't think they would bring in Primarina here. They do switch the Dragonite out. Okay. It's the Kingambit. Okay. And it's Trick on the Rotom. So yeah, of course it was Scarf. That makes sense. We're gonna get a little bit of damage onto that Kingambit. I actually kind of like having Scarf Weavile to tuck away. So I think I will just go into Klefki, Mega, and tempted to Will-O-Wisp into the Kingambit, but I could just Protect. Kingambit is not feeling threatened at all, so it can kind of do whatever. Let's check. Let's double check Delphox in the Kingambit matchup here. It could be Lumberry, is the thing. But I think I want to scout, see if it is, at least. You know, maybe should have protected with Delphox, but let's see what happens. They switch out the Rotom to Primarina. Okay. Did they go for Sucker Punch with Kingambit? I kind of doubt. We do hit the Will-O-Wisp. Is it Lump? Not Lump. Okay, so I do take it. I do take the Kowtow. Not well, mind you, but we take it. Okay. Alright, so we do know the whole team. They brought Primarina and this Kingambit. I think I am just going to get up a Deeply, probably. And do I want to try to attack with Delphox? Yes, I should try. I don't know. I do just take the Hail Flamethrower. Okay, I think that ended up being so obvious that it was kind of unexpected, is my logic there. So I will take that. I do get Hyper Voice, so Primarina is going to take that KO. It's not horrible, though. We don't see an obvious leftovers or anything. So I do think I go with Manectric here. We do have the nice Klefki Manectric strategy available. Kind of hard to justify doing that with two potential threats on the other side, but we'll see. Dragonite comes out. Okay. What's the best way to go about this? I think I might... They have Kingambit in the back? That's rough. Dazzling Gleam, and I'll Volt Switch off of the Dragonite, which I think is not going to protect. I think the Primarina is protecting. Yes, okay. So I take out the Multiscale. We have to bring in Weavile, and then let's see what the Dragonite goes for. Dragon Pulse went into that slot. I do take it though. Okay. That's alright. I will say Primarina chilling in the back there is pretty bad for me. I think Klefki needs to Thunder Wave into probably the Primarina, honestly. And then Weavile triple axles the Dragonite, and we have to get a little bit lucky with the Primarina getting full paired. It's tough. I don't have much, honestly, against the Primarina right now. Okay, they just brought up the Rotom, that's right. Did I say they had King Gambit chilling in the back? I meant Rotom. Okay then. So Dragonite protects. Dragonite might actually switch out to Primarina, is where I'm at. Gleam with Klefki, I suppose. And then if I stay in, I have to Triple Axle. We might be able to take out the Rotom, which I think Dragonite's going to switch out to Primarina, and we'll see Rotom stay in. So I'm going to try this. Yep, we see the switch out. Hopefully I can take out the Rotom. I really don't know if it's possible, though. Oh, come on. One hit? Okay. Pretty unfortunate. Blizzard. Misses Weavile. And Klefki resisted, of course. No! Come on. Oh, cool. Are we thawed out of the freeze? That is wild, okay. A lot happened that turn, huh? Okay. I'm gonna Thunder Wave the Primarina, I think. And we'll go ahead and Axle into that Rotom. Hopefully we will get our hits this time. I need to get lucky against this Primarina, I think, to win this game 1. We do take out the Rotom, okay. And Primarina, what are you gonna do? Hyper Voice, probably gonna take 2 KOs, and yeah, that's gonna be game 1. Okay. I need to start thinking about game 2, though. I don't think Manectric has this, if I'm being honest. Yeah, because we need to KO the Dragonite and hope the Primarina gets paralyzed, probably. I don't see it happening. Let's just see, like, what expected calcs are. Against an offensive Dragonite. Thunderbolt is expected to do like 30-ish. That's a yikes. I could at least lower the differential against Primarina. But I guess Thunderbolting in the Dragonite is probably my best chance of actually winning. Not that I think it's actually going to happen. Did more than I thought, actually. Dragon Pulse, yep. And then Primarina can take me out. Yep. Okay. You got it. Okay. So, interesting game there. I thought it went okay. It's just like Dragonite's so hard to take out if they're able to play around the Weavile. So, obviously I need to bring Weavile. Maybe Bastion Legion is needed to have a different ice move. In fact, I think that maybe a Manectric Bastion Legion lead is not horrible. Manectric protects Bastion Legion from Rotom, actually. And that's very nice. Probably still go with Klefki. Leaving Weavile behind seems insane, though. So, I mean, if no Klefki, we can do Delphox Weavile. Maybe we don't need Klefki. It didn't exactly do that much for me. It paralyzed Primarina, which didn't matter all that much. It gleamed into the Dragonite for some spread damage, but that's about it. Although, with this team, I don't have a switch into their King Gambit, is the thing. What if I led... Hang on. Basky Legion Weavile with Manectric in the back to protect Basky Legion on switch-in? This feels better. It's obviously still vulnerable to King Gambit. But Weavile at least like does stuff to it with Brick Break. So this is what I'm going to go with. Okay. Alright, what adjustments do we see from her? Very different. Okay. Okay, this doesn't feel horrible. So they need Medicham and Talonflame. Okay. I think I'm going for a Shadow Ball right into that Medicham. And I will be clicking Fake Out into the Talonflame. Turn 2, I can't do much to stop Tailwind from going up, but this is a very bulky Basky Legion. They have Primarina. I do a nice little chunk to it. They CC Weavile. Okay. Probably trying to get it out of the way for a Dragonite endgame. I stole your Sash, though. Nice. So this should KO, right? Yeah. Cool. Alright. I wonder if they accounted for that. It's probably not a huge deal, if we're being honest. But yeah, Basky Legion gets KO onto Medicham. Got your Sash. And it's the King Gambit. Oh! So there's actually... There's no Dragonite here. Okay. I think what I'm going to do then... I can Shadow Ball into the Primarina. With no Dragonite, these Ice moves off of my guys are a little more expendable. Shadow Ball Primarina, and I will... Could either Brick Break into the King Gambit, or switch out suspecting a Sucker Punch. I wish I had an upper hand right now. I thought about it. But let's just threaten both slots with damage. Yep. Okay, Brick Break reveals the Chople Berry. We get damage into the King Gambit, it's nice. And we're going to be able to attack with both our guys here. Feels good. Primarina low. And it Moonblasts. So it'll Moonblast into Weavile. And I did EV Basky Legion to take a Dark move from King Gambit. Should be okay against this. Yes, we are. Not looking too hot, but we're okay. Got Citrus Berry to heal up a little bit. That is kind of nice. Man, I am so vulnerable to Sucker Punch, aren't I? Glad I didn't have upper hand, I guess, because it was never even going for that. So let's just check a couple of my guys against Sucker Punch from Gambit. Yeah, my Manectric takes it. Delphox doesn't take it, right? There's no way. Sucker Punch always KOs my Delphox. Okay. Well, I guess I can pump into the King Gambit, and then Thunderbolt will take out the Primarina. What's the pump doing the King Gambit? Legion. Hydro Pump to King Gambit, max HP.
Looks like it can't KO. But... Ooh, you know what I can do is I can flamethrow it. So let's shoot. Okay. Shadow Ball into Primarina. And we'll flamethrow into King Gambit. Go with that. Primarina protects. Okay. King Gambit goes for a Sucker, which does not KO. And we take it out. Alright. I'm locked into Flamethrower against Fire Resist, though. So that's kind of a tough spot. Maybe that was a mistake, trying to take that out. I think I have to try and Shadow Ball the Primarina, and then I'm going to switch out with Scarf Manectric. Thunderbolt could be the key to winning this, even against a Tail and Primarina later. In fact, we might have to pump into the Talonflame, take it out, and then, like, hope to take it out, and then Manectric would win against Primarina, I think. Yeah, that is the play. Does it work out, or is my playoffs run over? Let's see. Okay, there's a Tailwind. Primarina goes for Hyper Voice. I live with Basket Legion. And my pump misses. Yeah, that's it, I think. Okay, I don't think there's anything left to do. I'll just try to Side Shock into the Talonflame, but yeah, I got nothing. If my Hydro Pump had hit there, let me check my Manectric against Primarina. Yeah, +2 Timid Primarina does underspeed Manectric, so... Man, I think maybe I could have had it if I'd hit that pump. I'll have to talk about that. Talk to my opponent about that after the game. Okay, well, is what it is. We're just gonna. It doesn't matter what I do. I'll put a Talonflame and Thunderbolt into the Primarina. Yeah, we know it's not Sash Talonflame either. So maybe Pasho could have saved them? I don't know. Yeah. That is playoffs, unfortunately. Obviously, that was just game 2, so even if I had won that, who's to say what would happen in game 3? But, like, that's really disappointing. Way to go out. I think I had that. If not for the 20% mischance. Oh well. Well, with that said, thank you guys so much for watching, and I am exiting playoffs here. Really happy with the team, and I'm happy with the season overall. So, yeah, with all that said, we're getting into another VGC draft next season of PPL here, so look forward to that, and I will see you guys next time.